Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of the storytelling talk. Today we're going to be covering Godzilla 1954, the original, the first one, the true Godzilla. So, what happened was, so I could give some context, and this is going to be a little bit more, bit of an extended video today. But and make sure to comment, like, subscribe. You know the drill. You all know how to do it. Stop telling us to do that. Then they got other people be like, well, I tend to forget to do these things. And I'm like, Chapman, comment room, make up your minds. But I digress. Um, over the weekend, I was invited on behalf of my company to attend a special event hosted by Toho International at Japan Society for a special screening of the original Godzilla film, the first one in its original 35 millimeter film. We're talking about like the original film, the one where you could light that on fire and it blows up the whole thing, like in Inglourious Bastards. That kind of film reel. But Toho was doing it in celebration of their upcoming movie, Godzilla Minus One. It was a whole big promotional event, and it was coincided with New York Comic Con, which I didn't attend because it's ridiculously expensive now. It's basically Disney World prices now. So I was like, nah. But I digress on that one too. But we're gonna talk about Godzilla 1954. But the thing is that we all of us were given the muzzle by Toho International. We couldn't say anything until today when they made their announcement, which they did today. Which they released their press release regarding Godzilla Minus One. So now I'm free to talk about what happened uh, over the weekend. Because what they did for us is that we got to see a new trailer for Godzilla Minus One. Not just any trailer, but it's the latest trailer. It still was raw footage before it's officially taken out. And let me tell you something. Wow, wow. And yeah, Godzilla is a freaking terror. Like he is a walking horror in this trailer, and they teased a little extra thing at the end. They didn't show us, but they gave us the beginning of his most famous attack, and we got to see how he activates it. We just don't get to see how he delivers it. It was a beautiful tease, man. Everybody was like, "Oh!" The whole crowd, all the Godzilla fans were like, "Oh!" And then the thing cuts off and says, "Godzilla minus one." But I didn't get to see the very first trailer, so I watched it this afternoon, and I saw the stark difference between what I saw over the weekend and this one. And this, I'm not sure when this new trailer that we saw is gonna come out, but there's a whole lot of new stuff compared to the first trailer that was released a couple of months back in September, I think. It was September, right? So it was pretty freaking amazing. It was Godzilla. The things that he did in this trailer, some of the new stuff that they added to it, and what he does was just like, oh my gosh, he really truly is a horror villain in this one here. There ain't gonna be none of this summoning him to fight King Ghidorah or something like that and save Japan. He's the real deal in this one, and it is glorious. It was very glorious. So during this event, we all got to see. Uh, they had some cool stuff for us to see. For example, here's the poster, one of the posters for Godzilla Minus One that they had on display, and I got to take a picture of myself with this one. As you can see here, there's a pretty cool. Uh, and then they had these little Roblox. Let me just zoom that up for all of you so you can get a good, clear picture of that. Nope, there's one. Sorry. These photos have been very finicky during this whole posting, but yeah, here it is. And what did I get from this? Well, I got, sadly enough, Mothra. So here are all the pieces. Look how tiny the pieces are, and all of this, all of these micro pieces, all these nanoblocks, becomes Mothra, which is pretty cool. I mean, Mothra is awesome. I love her, but I wanted Godzilla. But yeah, this is the whole diagram in both English and Japanese. But this is what you would get right up here. Oh, here it is. The final. This is what it looked like. All those little pieces. All them tiny little pieces will become that. And they had more on display too. Here we go. Let me just get these back in here. Here we go. And crush, 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 crush. There we go. And not only that, but oh, I went the wrong direction. Here we go. They had this, the Tamashi brand Godzilla figurine. It's very beautiful, lovely model. Here it is up close. I gotta say, that's what looks like he's ready to bite you. You could also see the joints on there as well. If you notice, he's got a lot of joints going on, so you can position him in different ways. Very, 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 very lovely and elegant. This is the Night Color Edition, Godzilla 2019, which was on display at New York Comic Con, according to the little tag there. And this was the little, again, where I stood to, get my picture taken, as you see here. So it really was a fun time. Here we go. Put that there like that. Thanks for tolerating that. So it was truly an amazing time. Here's the general admission that we got at Japan Society. And finally, we got this one last thing, which I'm going to need to enlarge. We all got to have, courtesy of Toho. Oh my gosh, it really is large. I don't know if I can be able to do it. Here we go. The official movie poster of Godzilla -1. It still has this film is not yet rated. Here we go. Yeah. It really is that big. Here we go. Here we are. What a beautiful poster. I'm trying every which way I can. And this time I was very careful not to let them get bent, like what happened to poor Angel Egg. The poor Angel Egg. Yeah, see, like that. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was really that big. And I got a second one here too. That'll be good on the thumbnail there. So, just so y'all know, and I'll just say this one little thing regarding the trailer. His spikes, he glows blue, basically, when he's ready to fire. When he's ready to do his atomic breath, he's glowing blue. I thought I'll just give that one little teaser there. So expect to see that. It's like, no, why'd you spoil this? Hey, you know what? He was always blue anyway. His atomic breath has always been normally blue, so. But, yeah, I can't wait for -1 to come out. It is a fantastic, phenomenal looking movie. He is truly a reign of terror. And and true to form. So, mm-mm-mm. So yeah, that's what happened over the weekend, and we couldn't say, none of us in the audience were allowed to say anything or reveal anything. Not even the press that was there from New York Comic Con was allowed to announce or say anything. So yeah, and I checked, make sure, with the representatives of Toho, what time I could be able to talk about this, since I do this at 10, since I do this very late, these videos very late, to make sure that I don't botch up or anything. So basically, yeah. Yeah, I hope you all are hyped up, man, because I am. Oh man, yeah, total hype. Like watching, and this is in the first trailer too. Watching him throwing things around and swinging his tail and causing the buildings to fall on top of people, and seeing him, step on people like in the first trailer. Because I'm talking about the first trailer here, not the trailer that I saw the weekend, because that was also in that trailer, because they still showed scenes from the first trailer in the new trailer. So so just watching him stepping on people, and they're actually showing it. That's what's so crazy about it, is that they're actually showing it. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this. So let's segue to what we saw on the weekend, and that was the original Godzilla. I'm gonna keep this up because this is hype. So let's talk about the original Godzilla. It was created in the wake of World War II, as we all know. For those who don't know, and I'm sure there's a lot who probably don't know. Let's give a little quick context. Japan lost World War II in the most unimaginable way possible. That changed the course of all of human history, and through the horrors of the post World War II situation, Japan had introspection, and the and Toho, and who? Oh crap! What was the? Now, because my brain is running at 100 miles an hour, and I completely forgot. Um, the what the? Yeah, there we go. There we go. The creator's name. Toho Company. Yeah. Tomoyuki Tanaka, Eiji Tsubaraya, and Ishiro Honda. These creators that came up with Godzilla, and Toho movie production, who owns it, created the movie, and it was basically introspection. Saying reflections and a plea to the world about nuclear weapons, and basically Godzilla's whole entire thing is that he's supposed to be a walking disaster. He's just a total disaster that nobody was prepared for, and caught everyone flat-footed. And basically, in the very first film, if I recall correctly, I'm doing this off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. He was the result of the nuclear testings that was happening at that time. The fisherman ship at the very beginning was basically a commentary on what happened to, if I remember correctly, the Kobayashi Maru ship, a real life ship that got caught in one of the blasts while it was out fishing by accident, and sparked a lot of outrage, of course, and got people questioning the U.S. doing the atomic bomb testings out in the middle of the Pacific and everything. And this movie was the result, Godzilla, and and they put in a whole lot of layers and a lot more stuff, but pretty much the original Godzilla's intent was to be a plea to everybody, not to be, well, I guess you could say, let's be responsible with these nuclear weapons, because the Cold War, which was in full swing, was just getting ridiculous between the Soviet Union, the U.S., and the number of stockpiles they were piling on. So Godzilla basically represented what is a natural disaster, and how people respond to it. Of course, over time, as the years went on, Godzilla ended up becoming an anti-hero, a superhero, a friend of all children kind of thing, which was all nice and cute and everything. But it was being lost as to what his point is. And watching that movie on the screen was a real delight because I've never, we never seen Godzilla, the original Godzilla movie, on an actual movie theater screen in 35 millimeter film, and being able to see in true form, what kind of monstrosity Godzilla truly is without cutting to commercials or anything is pretty remarkable, and very tragic and very sad because um, you could really feel the sting of post World War II and what happened out there, in you know yeah, saying buildings getting toppled over by Godzilla, trains getting crushed, and then the survivors coming out irradiated, and the Geiger counters are like ramped up and everything. And one of the things that happened was Dr. Sarasada Shisho, or Sensei, Sarasada Sensei, basically came up with the oxygen destroyer, which is the other fantastical part of the world build. And basically, what it does is it turns the water into acid and liquefies whatever life is in there completely, down to the bone. And the one impression that I got out of it was Oppenheimer. Like I wasn't sure if they've done research regarding. Well, they had to have done research, but also during that time in 1954, if I remember correctly, especially from watching the movie Oppenheimer, Robert Oppenheimer had been running all over the place, telling people how dangerous this is to manufacture and mass produce the nuclear weapons. And Dr. Sarasawa was represented that sentiment in the original Godzilla. In which he said that if he brings out, makes it public about the oxygen destroyer, all the world governments are going to want to get his research, all of his blueprints, and weaponize it against each other. And he'd been keeping that a secret for a very, very long time. But because Godzilla had already decimated Tokyo and basically left millions dead, and thousands dead, or a lot of people dead and irradiated, basically suffering and surviving, they needed to get rid of Godzilla, and they were able to convince him. And he goes on to destroy the notes, thereby ensuring future movies within the context of the world of Godzilla that there will be no oxygen destroyer if ever should a new Godzilla rise or something of that nature. That's why we don't see a lot of oxygen destroyers in any of the subsequent films, because that was established that Sarasawa killed himself. Even though many Godzilla films with each of its distinct eras that Toho has made, resets the Godzilla film. Godzilla film. In a sense, they made sure that the oxygen destroyer never comes into play as the easy solution to getting rid of Godzilla. Because in world building terms, it does break the whole purpose. Because then people will say, well, just throw the oxygen destroyer on Godzilla and you're done. But that's not the point. The point was that that in order to stop a giant threat, you had to create a weapon of mass destruction to stop the threat, but you had to consider the consequences of exposing that to the entire world. And I think that's a fair critique. That Oppenheimer was also, trying to tell everybody that, it was a genie in a bottle that you couldn't put back in it. And sure enough, we ended up with an atomic age and a Cold War. And yeah, but in terms of the world built and subsequently following that, we'll never see well, we did get to see the oxygen destroyer again. There was one Godzilla movie, and that was because they directly linked it to the original movie. I forgot which one it was. There's so many. It was like 33. There's 33 Godzilla movies, along with the Hanna-Barbera cartoon and the Hollywood showcase of Godzilla and so on. But they did do that, and I believe they brought back the Oxygen Destroyer one more time. If not, at least reference it. Nevertheless, in terms of the world build, that little Chekhov's gun is never going to happen, unless of course -1 goes in that direction. Saying they bring in the Oxygen Destroyer, but Godzilla overall um, changed the world in the context of the first Godzilla film, that particular world build. Because like I said, every single subsequent Godzilla was kind of like a reboot or a reset, and didn't link to the original Godzilla film. So they got different ways of telling Godzilla. But in the context of the 1954 story, even though Godzilla died and the Oxygen Destroyer is and all of its notes are gone, along with Sarasawa, who sacrificed himself. That world of Godzilla is still uncertain if there's going to be a new type of Godzilla or equivalent, in the horizon, but they know it's possible because of the nuclear testing, and it's a matter, and they left the future, of course, ambiguous if the world governments are going to stop with the whole nuclear testing or stop making nuclear weapons to avoid creating a Godzilla. We'll never know. It was left uncertain. All we know is that Godzilla, marched the Earth, destroyed Tokyo, left people dead or irradiated for a very long time, and they liquefied it into nothing, and everything about it goes away. So yeah, it's a very very uncertain future, and it's very very. It would have been interesting to explore it, but I think that Toho and them wanted to leave it at that and not undermine. Um, well, no, that's not true because they still linked it. I don't even know why I'm saying that because they still linked it with the later films further down the line. Even though they went different directions with Godzilla, again making him an anti-hero or hero of the children or stuff like that, they still did a couple of movies that linked to the first one, and either through references or direct act. I think it was Mecha Godzilla. They took the bones of that Godzilla, the very first Godzilla, and turned them into Mecha Godzilla. If I remember correctly, I forgot the name of the movie, but the point is that even though they did link it, it's still it's still not much. I guess not much has changed. I guess they kept the status quo in terms of the atomic age and everything. But that world eventually did create giant robots, which I don't know if, in my opinion, it was a good idea going back to trying to link Mechagodzilla and that whole entire fight to the original Godzilla. Where they used his bones to make Mechagodzilla. I don't know if that was really a smart idea, because it undermined the whole entire point of the very very first 1954 Godzilla film. Um, you know, in terms of world building and of course its point and message, at a very critical turning point of human history. Those opening years, we're talking 1954, 19, like around 1949, 5 years. It was only when when was the Treaty of San Francisco signed? 1949, because it was very late 1948. And crap, my history. I don't know, a lot of historians. If you're a historian, let me know when when the you can tell me when, I don't know, comment when the Treaty of San Francisco was signed. But nevertheless, the point was that it was 5 to 6 years, okay, since the end of World War II, and it was still fresh on everybody's minds and the after effects and everything, and it was a turning point. And Godzilla was to lament and reflect on what became the turning point of human history. And I think that doing any sequels or linking any Godzilla stories to the first one, I think um, really undermines the whole thing of the first one. Uh, yeah, because I think they did do a sequel, but it was a little different. Anyway, but that's my point. My point is that it shouldn't have gotten a sequel, and and doing soft reboots and making Godzilla something else, an anti-hero or hero of the children. I think that was cool for Godzilla and for everybody to enjoy Godzilla. the way he is, but I think that it's not a good idea to link him to the first one because there was a point to that. There was a point to that, and the world built within that 1954 Godzilla was very uncertain and ambiguous, as it should be, because Godzilla is a natural disaster, and that is the point of his existence within the world build, is to be a natural disaster that nobody can stop and nobody can deal with, except through extreme measures. Alright, well, that's all I got to say for Godzilla 1954. Comment down below if you love Godzilla. Who's your favorite kaiju in the Godzilla universe? What's your favorite era? What's your favorite movie? Are you excited for -1? Anything about Godzilla? You know, anything. Whatever you got. Comment down below. And you're invited to like and subscribe if you're interested. So make sure you enjoy yourself. So with that said, I thank you all, and you all have a good night. Buenas noches, and oyasuminasai.